Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I am going to go over the cryptocurrency market, more specifically Bitcoin and maybe a little bit of Ethereum, guys. But here's Bitcoin on a monthly chart. It looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Monthly the RSI down here in stochastics. Bullish cross. Nailed it on the 22nd of December right there. So, and probably gonna this is probably gonna be making its way up to the top, is my guess. It's my guess right now. And here's the thing, guys, is that we're gonna look at this a little bit closer, okay? Based on massive amount of volume here. So you have a target, right? Based on this head and shoulders pattern right here, guys, right? So you got a head and shoulders. It's pretty, this right here, you can see, boom, boom. And then you take your deal breakout from there, right? It goes up to about 40K, that box target area. And let's pull fibs, see what the fibs say. 1.618 logarithmic, not linear for Bitcoin. Okay. 1.618 is right there at 43 for this. If this is a third wave, guys, and you have a good shot, that could be a third wave. If this takes it out, if this RSI on the daily takes that out, then you have a good shot. That was a second wave right there. Very shallow second wave. If that's the case, that's very, very bullish, guys. That's extremely bullish for that shallow wave. If you go back and look at the history of Bitcoin, something like, you got right there where Bitcoin, it trended up and it moved up. And then you can see in this area, it went up like here, boom. We could be kind of like maybe in that area. Some people might have an argument we're just in that area. But if you're going to look at it, compare it to 2019, we're either here. I mean, technically, here's 1, 2, 1, 2. That was pretty shallow wave correction too, guys. But this would be your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the third, 4, and then up for a 5. 1, 2, 1, 2. Technically, we should be in this area if you want to look at it like that. So the other thing is too, guys, is the argument of what's going on with Bitcoin. What kind of wave sequence is it in? Did it start a new cycle? You have a good shot that Bitcoin's in a fifth wave, guys. That's my take on it. So I'm looking for 34 to 42 or something like that in that area, guys, for the next step. I think once Bitcoin busts 33K, it's done. I don't want to say it's done and over with, but it's going to start getting up there pretty good, guys. But this is a ridiculous, in my opinion, if that is a wave 2, guys, that's ridiculously bullish because now you're looking at a wave 2. Your wave 3 target is going to be up into that box up there, guys. So, I mean, that's like hyper bullish. I don't want to go super, super bullish like that yet, but hey, that's the only thing that seems reasonable right now. It does have a little bit of bearish divergence. You could expect a correction, but hey, I made the videos. I said in this area, when it was at 28,000, that you might not get that 25 or 26K. Time went on, I started going, hey, I don't think it's going to drop. My gut's telling me that it's going to, not supposed to go off your feelings. I realized that my gut's telling me it's going to go up, and it did pop. So here's the deal. Overall picture on Bitcoin, guys, is looking at the weekly chart. Is you have an argument that that's 5 waves there, and this is a second wave correction, and it's going, and this is a new cycle. The issue that I have with that is that if you take a look at this wave right here, guys, so you have a wave 1 and here's a wave 2. So this whole thing is your wave 1 and this is your wave 2, right? You see how big that is? Well, I want to see how big it is. Let's see, how high did it go? It went up like 60%. So this wave, and taking the fibs off of this one went up just 25%, guys. So the size of this compared to this doesn't make sense to me that this is a new cycle over here, because now you're going to say this will be wave one and then it's going to be bigger than this. And if it's a new cycle, it shouldn't be bigger than that, guys. It shouldn't. It should be a little bit smaller. As they get smaller as time goes on. If you look at history, like this wave was big, and then over here made the most gains, a little bit less gains than that, even though the gains are massive. And then you have less gains than that one. And then over here, you should have another one, should have a little bit less gains than that one. To me, reasonably, it seems like it's a fifth wave. 1, 2, whether you want to put the 3 here for an extended third wave, back down for 4, and it's going up for a 5. If this is, here's the thing, guys, if this is a fifth wave, there's not going to be any of this. There's not going to be 1, 2. You already had your 1, 2. It's going to go up like these, boom, 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 and then boom, boom, like little corrections, and it's just going to trek right up there, guys. That's the whole thing with the fifth wave. So if you go with the new cycle theory, you're going to be expecting what it did over here in 2019 to go up and then have this mega crash all the way back down, and it's starting going into the third wave, which seems reasonable based on the past history of Bitcoin. However, you can't rule out that this is a fifth wave. And the size of the wave and the characteristics and the nature of it and wanting to get up into these areas, and then with fib numbers, Fibonacci logarithmic numbers with 1.618 up to 2.618, it seems more reasonable. You might be in the midst of a fifth wave, guys. Could be. And if that's the case, then it's going to just trek right up near all-time highs, or maybe even break all-time highs, whatever it may do, who knows, guys. But that's how I'm looking at it. It looks pretty good. Now, same thing, I was going to go post this on Ethereum, and Ethereum, people were waiting for that because I want altcoin season to come around. And Ethereum is the same situation, guys. You know, like, is this the end of the cycle? Shallow fourth wave, it could have been, or is that a third wave extension? Is the same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then is it going up for a 5? You know, I wouldn't be surprised if it does something like that, guys, right up there to the midpoint, just right there in that area, especially with this wave count. If you take the wave count, 1, 2, 1, 2, and now it's in a 3. You know, I have the counts on here, guys. I decided to check out the counts and put them on here and go, okay, well, let's kind of, you know, you start looking at a pretty bullish asset, like hyper bullish, with a 1, 2, 1, 2, okay? And then in this area with a 1, 2, and is this right here, I looked into this with Ethereum, and this diagonal, it seems like it's an ending diagonal, but these waves in there, if you look at them, they're impulses. Leading or ending diagonals can't be impulses. So I said, if they're impulses and it can't be an ending diagonal, well, what is it? Then it's a starting diagonal. And it's probably going up for a little mini wave 1, back down for a wave 2. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3, 4, 5, up for a 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, and then up here for your 4, 5 to rocket on up there, guys. That's what you're actually looking at right there before people's eyes. And they're not going to believe that. Most of the market is not going to believe that at all, guys. Now, what's a bearish count? It could be, this is your A, B, and it's going up for a C. If it was doing that, guys, the C would be, it wouldn't be like kind of struggling out of there, in my opinion. I would think if this is a bear market bounce, it'd be A, B, and this C would rip all the way up there and definitely have everybody bearish. Like, oh my gosh, kind of like this, more like this wave right here. And then it would be ripping over here, getting back up there to 25 or something like that, doing a 1-to-1. So that's the area you want to check. Take this wave and go like this on logarithmic. And then once Ethereum is right at 2100 or 2200, you want to see what's going on. Because then once it breaches that, then you start ruling out like the ABC scenario. It just goes away, guys, real quick once it goes beyond 1-to-1. But the time, the thing is the time too. If you take a look at the time, okay, the time right here, this wave took it 58 days. So now you're going to say that you got a C wave that's going to take, oh, let's say 170, 180 days, 190 days. So you got an A wave that took 58. Now you got a C wave over here. It's taking like 5 times as long, or not 5, 3 times as long. Makes no sense, guys. The time to the A and the C should be reasonably close. If this is 58 days and your C wave over here should be like 45 to, I would give it like maybe 90 days or something like that. But this is getting on way too long, guys. Way too long. You got to start ruling out of it. You have to look at the time sequence along with the Fibonacci levels too. If the time doesn't make sense, then more than likely it's you got to start checking other areas too, is what I'm saying. But like right here, you have a correction, right? So how long did this correction take? Let's take the top, and we have a correction that took 225 days, right? So now we got a let's say this is a correction right here in this area. This is supposed to be correcting this. So that's the bear case. So your ABC, your 3-way move, and then in this area it's supposed to be correcting this leg for it to come back down. That's the bear case, okay? And if you take the time over here now, you're looking at 301 days, and let's say it goes on. So 345 days compared to this 225 days, guys, starting to not make sense. You know, this here can be longer than that, but once it gets substantially longer than this wave, you know, you would think this is a wave and then it's going to come up, correct it. It should be not like a lot longer than this wave. So that's why it's important to look at the time sequence too, guys. But remains to be seen. I don't want to say Ethereum did a 1-2. This is extended third wave, fourth wave, and you have a good shot that Ethereum 2 is making a fifth wave, guys. That's my take on it. It could be a new cycle, but if you look at how this is set up, if this, my count is correct, if it's a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and it's going up like that, then to me it seems more reasonable. It could be a fifth wave, but remains to be seen. We'll find out how this all plays out, guys. Altcoin season, I think, will be coming up. Looking at the ETH BTC chart here on the daily, is that this has probably another swing down. If you take a look at the ETH BTC chart, last time it did something like that, it probably is going to be down there for a little while, guys. So if you see it over in this area when it came and it swung down right here, check this out. Right over here when Ethereum took off, it came back down and went up into a wave. You see this over here? Boom, and went up into a wave, came back down, maybe one more, back down. You see the same thing over here. Up, down, up, came down right here like it is, probably in that wave, up one more, and then back down again, and then Ethereum rocketed out of there. Same thing, up, down, up, then back up this way, down, up, and then probably back over here. And then Ethereum on the ETH BTC chart is going to rocket out of there, guys. Okay. Reason I say that is that you do have this pattern right here, and it'll go over there some point, guys, here in the near future. So that's what I think. Probably, who knows, maybe two or three more weeks or something like that. It might be a month. Asking for the time frame. Let people, well, what's your time frame on that? I don't know the time frames. You know, when assets go into corrections, they can spend a long time in a correction. And that's what happens when you get these moves right here like this, these corrections up in A, B, C. They're called flats. They take up time. They can take, you know, a long time, months, weeks. There's stocks that go into flats that take years, guys. Years. They go into a flat for years. It's like that. Goes up into an A, drags, and then up into a B. Makes a nice flat. And this is your expanded flat. This is the cryptocurrency does these moves right here. That's the move that confuses people. This is the move. These flats are the moves that confuse people, guys. I'll show you an example of that too on the S&P 500. Most people don't see it because people are just blinded by flats. They're blinded by flats, guys, right here on the S&P 500. 3, 3, 5. It's a flat. And they coming up with some of the things. If master the flat, and the reason I know it's a flat, you just go to equal weight. This is equal weight S&P 500. And you can see here on the daily chart, this is equal weight. So what this is taking the all the S&P 500 assets and equally weighting them. So if you go to the other S&P 500, whoever's in there, say Google as an example, it has more weight than the other ones. This one equally weights them. And then you can compare this, do a more of a quant analysis, if you will. And you got your 3, 3, and here's your 5 right here. And you can see, boom. And what do flats do? Flats on that fifth wave like to correct the cycle. And that's what it did over here. It's all the way back down there and boom. And then it's over here, probably making an impulse out of there. Looks like it. Impulsed out of there, and it's probably in a correction. So what does that tell you about the S&P 500? Think about it, guys. It means that this is probably A, B, C, or it could be bullish. 1, 2, and maybe it's going up for a third wave. If this is going up for a third wave, S&P 500 could be going up for a third wave, or A, B, C, up this way, which means what? Which means more than likely Bitcoin will be bullish. So all the S&P 500 needs to do, think about this. Here's S&P 500, and it goes through this long, drawn-out flat, right? Long, drawn-out flat. And it finally finished over here. Okay, so, but now it's going up. It went up like this or something like that, right? And everybody's saying it's going to crash. It's going to come back down and do a correction. And then it's still, let's say it's going into a third wave of a C, right? And it come back down for a fourth, and maybe it's going up for a fifth, just like so. So you got A, B, C. Well, S&P 500's right here. And while it's doing that move, you take a look at Bitcoin. What can Bitcoin do, right? Come back down just like the S&P and boom. Okay. If you think it's very, very correlated to the traditional financial markets, guys. If you made it all the way to the end, do me a huge favor, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Peace.